Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Here's my palette of colours. We have some raw sienna, cadmium red, cadmium yellow, sap green, that's a brown black. It's a bit like a Van Dyke brown, but maybe a bit blacker. Some cerulean blue and some white. So we're going to do a couple of trees and that's about it. Actually, I'll mix some colour. I might put in the ground first. Just a bit of white, bit of the bit of this, maybe a bit of the brown black. Maybe a bit of blue in it. A bit more of that raw sienna. So I'm creating the ground plain first. So you can choose what you want to start first. And something like this. I just want to get this sort of flatness. You see, I was meeting a mate. And we do Tai Chi, and while I was waiting, I went round the corner and saw a scene I liked, and this is it. And I thought, oh, that'd be quite a good painting, and I went for it. Here we go. Didn't go for it then. I'm going for it now. So I'll start with this ground. So I'm not too worried about things if I don't mind seeing brush strokes. That's what I was going to say. I'm not too fussed about that. I don't mind it. In fact, I quite like it, to be honest. I like a loose looking picture. So we've got our ground in. Now what I want is a sort of a dull green. So what I've just I've just chucked some sap green in, a little bit of blue and a little bit of the brown black, just to make a dull green, just to get the there's a bit of grass down here. And if you want it to be a bit thinner, it becomes a bit more transparent, and then what you do is you get some of the ground, as in this, showing through the paper. And that's going to be a bit lighter, so you make your colour a bit darker just to get that. There's a bit of grass here as well. There's some here. See, I used to always make grass with just sap green and yellow. And it didn't really work. So I'm just making a whitish green. There's a building here. Maybe that's not quite the right colour. Put a bit of blue in it. Maybe it's more brown than I think it is. Yeah, that's more like it. Sort of. It'll do anyway. Oh, I've made this too big. Let's just scrub it away a little bit. Use my finger, it's actually there, not all the way up there. a bit of a roof there. It's an old door. I'll do. I'll do for that. You can always add more as the painting progresses a little bit. So I want some dark, because right at the bottom part it's really dark. So I just throw some green in with the brown black, making it real dark. Sap green, brown black. So you could just, if you haven't got brown black or oh, I've forgotten the name of that colour again. But you can use burnt umber and ivory black. That works just as good. So I've got some dark down here. Some scenes, I just like it when you can see light hitting areas. I really like those sort of scenes. I'm kind of attracted to a painting idea when I'm painting for myself for enjoyment like this. I'm attracted to scenes where you see the light hitting areas. It's like an overcast one. It just doesn't look as good to me. When the sun comes out, I'm like, oh yes, this is perfect. Just what I wanted. Some dark in that. Some greens. I need some, I've got a couple of trees that are here. I'll just quickly draw them in so I know where they are. And there. This is quite a strong tree, that one, and then another one. It's a bit further back, about there. Might need to make them a bit thicker, but I'm not sure yet. Get some dark. These are like the stars of the show, really, these two trees. We've got areas greeny, and we've got a light. So I'll do all the work putting the dark in, and then eventually you can paint the lights. But it's good to, once you get all your darks in, then you can do the fun part. Comes to about there. Okay. Now I need to put the sky in as well. Some nice blues. going to put a bit of a lighter green in there. Threw a little bit of raw sienna in. Don't want it to be too light yet. I'm going to keep some of these darks. But I'm going to do it as I paint. I'm going to put in these different colours, shapes. I can see this door's way too light. Got like plant and stuff growing around it, so you can't really see it that well. Actually, I just realised that's not even a door. That's another building. There's a building in front of a building. See, I don't really go around this bit very often. So the last time I went round there was to take a picture because I heard some bird sounds and I was like, oh, there must be a pheasant around there. Okay, so we've got this, needs to come out like that a bit duller colour. Like that. That needs sort of breaking up a bit like that. This as well. Grass, grass. And just a bit of grass growing all the way around there. Okay, so I'll wash my brush, and now I can start putting in some blue sky. Get a good rinse. Some blue and white. Blue and white. It's just a bit of cerulean blue and some white. And then I can, actually I might dry this just so we don't get any issues. Okay, so I'm going to throw in some of the cerulean blue and white. I might put in a little bit more blue actually. See what it looks like when we put it on. I do want a nice blue though. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's just cerulean blue and white. That's all it is. We get some of these nice. It does make a difference, I find, when you add in a nice glimmer of sky. I mean, it's what you see when you're in nature. You do see like these little flicks. Of course, it depends on how thick the forest is, but that's what I see. So try and put it in. Okay, so there we go. You do tend to see more of these spots of light at the top rather than at the bottom as well. It's something I've noticed from sitting outside in the woods painting. I might walk in the woods with my camera again, do a painting just for fun. It is enjoyable. It's enjoyable, but it's hard to film. That's the only thing. So I keep thinking, oh, I would really like to do something like that, but then, like today, it's been raining. So I thought, well, I can paint inside again. There we go, that's a nice bit of sky there. Just washing my brush. So now I want is a slightly lighter green to fill in some of this, and then I want to go really light for this area because there's some strong light there, and then there's some light hitting some of the ground in places. A little bit of this as well. Something not right about this. I might bring this down to there and make that look like a door, because it looks a bit weird. I don't mind it being a door. We can fake it. Change things the way we want it to be. That's the good thing about painting. If you're just having fun, just doing a painting, you can do that. You just change things. Have it how you want it to be. There we go, got a door now. Okay, a little bit of this down, that. Okay, bit of a duller colour. Something like that. Right. We can modify that later. We've got like a lot of trees to do. I'm taking my time though. I'm not rushing today. Let's get some of this raw sienna with some sap green. Maybe a tiny bit of white. We'll make our, maybe a little bit of blue as well. Yeah, we'll make our lighter colour. So all kinds of shapes going on here. I might just tap my brush a little bit just to get rid of some of the paint so then when I come to tap, it's a little bit less paint on the brush. Then I'll get like gaps and things, which is what I want. I don't want to fill blobs up fully. Fill blobs up. Basically, I just don't want it to all blend into one colour. I still want to keep my darks, and especially down this bit. This bit would be the darkest bit at the bottom part of the tree there. You can go into all these different areas where there's bits hanging. Keep some of these darks. That's not too bad. It's still fairly dull, which is good. I don't want it to go too light too soon. If you want to go a little bit darker, you or change the colour slightly, you can get a bit of red in there. I just threw in a bit of red in my colour just to change things up a little bit. Bit more this colour. Just a bit more there. I put a tiny bit of cadmium yellow in that then. I still don't want it to be too bright, but I want a little brightness over here. Just sort of spin my bristles a little bit there. I can see shapes down here that sort of gives you a line almost. So I'll put that in. Using the leftover paint on my brush to start this. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing down. I'll show you. So I'm pushing down with my brush. And things are starting to build up a little bit. little bit more colour over here. There's actually a little bit more bluish tint in that colour. That cerulean blue in it, which is what we want. I want that coolness over there. Now what I want is to get the lighter lights, a little bit of the sap green, tiny bit of the red, and then the yellow. We get a tiny bit of blue as well. More the yellow. Yeah, that's not bad. So now we've got to pick out these lights, be a bit more specific. There we go. Looking at the patterns of the tree where the light is hitting the most. See, sometimes when I take a reference picture, I'll mess around with the contrast and just to see what I can do. And then but sometimes, like this one, the light was so strong on the tree, I focused on that part of the light, and then just went into a bit of blue then. Just change it up a bit and make it a bit duller. Yeah, because then if I focus on one part of the light, then it kind of, you do lose some of the other when you're taking your picture. But I really wanted a good looking scene, and sometimes I think it is needed to, when you're taking your pictures. But this is, of course, there's HDMR and a lot of other stuff. I'm just waffling, really. I'm not the best photographer ever. I just try and get the best picture for the painting that I can get. Something like that. Just picking up some of these lights that I didn't quite get. Go a little bit duller over here. I still want it to be seen, but I don't want it to be shouting like the light areas are going to be shouting out. Now I'm going to get some white in my yellow. This is where some areas are now going to really start to sparkle and get some of that sunlight. Like we already managed to get these bits here, and then getting extra layers of leaves. Now you can use a smaller brush, I'm just using this just to use the corner. I'm using to get some of these light areas. These are definitely the lightest bits there. And some areas in the ground, grassy areas that caught a bit of light as well, like down here. Down there. Got a little bit of a different shade. Just shows how many different greens you can create using your, it's quite a limited palette of colour really, and you can create all kinds. Just give that a bit more light there. Use my finger to get rid of some of it. Okay. So I want to get these, and you can see like trees, tree branches in the background. There's one here. Let's see one there as well. And then I want to bring this down. And that one as well. Sort of a light greyish colour, just to have a bit on this tree. Bit of raw sienna as well. You can see that like that. Okay. Right now, I got this other brush, and I'll put in some dark. The ground is a little bit too light, so a bit of the old brown. Brown, and that's even lighter. Let's mix it up on the paper. There we go. I want it to be a lot darker than that. This might be right, actually. Throw in a little bit of blue hint in here. A bit of reflected sky. It's not bad. A bit of sky over here as well. That's definitely a lot better, because now what I need, actually while we're at this, I need a little bit more light in here. That's a bit better. Bit of green along the ground as well. Okay, so now I want some light, but I want it to be warm light, so that's some white. White and red. Got a nice pinky colour. Get a bit of this in it as well, this raw sienna. Might throw a bit of cad yellow in it as well. More white. Really light this. That's nice. Right. So we've got light hitting certain areas. So we're gonna put that in. It goes there. Another glimpse there. Glimpse of the light. Some light here as well. Gets quite a lot warmer at the front part than the back, so I'm going to get some more red and yellows and things in there, just to warm this area up. These different lighting spots. And there's the light that goes in like that. It is interesting though, isn't it, how you get these light areas in a wood. They really do look good. They do to me. I can't help but take photos. I always take photos of scenes like this with the dappled light. I remember taking one and I lost it. It was a really good one in like a village, and there was a dappled light everywhere, and I thought, oh yes, be a heck of a painting to paint, but it would look amazing. For some reason I lost that picture. You get some grass light, so it would follow along like that. There's a little bit of light in there actually as well. Okay. I'll leave that as it is, I think. Might have a little bit of something growing up it. Okay. So the next thing I could do, I reckon, I could have somebody there that was catching some of the light. Let's get a little bit of dark. Maybe there's somebody gone out for a walk or something. Maybe it's someone in like a dress or something. Okay, I don't know. I really like doing this sort of shape. Imagine, I kind of think of the old paintings, really. Bit of light hitting that person. Bit of red. Something like that. Not too much detail. I might keep it very undetailed. Just want like a figure there. Bit of red in the face. Maybe there's a bit of more shade. Because the light is all around. Someone just coming back from their walk. Maybe there's a little dog somewhere. You have to dull that red, it looks a bit scary. There we go, somebody walking there. Why not? It gives it a little bit more interest, I suppose. I do like the idea of maybe a little dog as well. I've seen people with their little dogs before. Just do a little... Perhaps you can't really see it, but there's a dog there. Yeah, we'll go with that. Kind of like the idea of her carrying flowers. So I might just put a few little dots of colour. See if I can get a little bit of the pink side of the face. There we go. Got something there. So we'll go with that, I think, for her. And you could add little bits of green stones and stuff using flicking paint. The other thing that I always notice is flies. Just flicking a few bits of light in the air. Did any of that actually come off? Don't think it did. There we go. Just where that light is coming through, you can get some like light dots, and they could be like little flies. So I've seen that. But yeah, I think I'll call that one finished. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed painting it. There is a way to get some really thick white, and I can blow out some of these areas that the light is extra light. Something like that. Oops, I didn't mean to pick up yellow. Just wanted a little bit of red in this bit. Burning in some red into some areas. Okay. I kind of want a little birdie now. Let's have one up here. Maybe it's maybe up there. Just on the one there. I could even put a few branches in there, in those blue areas. But anyway, we'll call this one finished. Thanks very much for watching this one, and I will see you at another one. Cheers, bye.